What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about how to find a good hair transplant doctor and the top 5 questions you have to be asking those doctors, okay? So I'm going to start this out by saying one thing. On my website, if you don't know what it is, it's on screen right now. It's also in the description. It's Hair Transplant Reality, just like the name of the channel.com. So hairtransplantreality.com. The second tab is going to be on screen in a second. I'll show it to you. It's how to find a doctor, okay? At the bottom, there's a little sign-up area to get a free guide for consultations when you talk to clinics, okay? So it's got 30 questions on it. It's got some note areas, and it's got some sections for like past clients that they've had. So you can talk to those and write their info down and like how many grafts they got, see what they said about the doctor, that kind of stuff. That's really cool and helpful. You definitely need to get that and print that out for every consultation you go to, okay? It's free. Just trust me, guys, it is super useful. It's got questions on there that you probably never even thought to ask that actually have way more implications than I ever thought in the beginning to how to choose your doctor. But today we're going to talk about 5 of them. And guys, the first 5, I would say, let's go ahead and just talk about a few random ones. But like the number one question is, how do you perform the surgery? So like FUE or FUT, like which one do you do? And so that's like one of the number one questions on there that I think is important. I love when a doctor has the experience of both and they're not just one or the other, okay? Because both are great for different reasons. FUE is, of course, great for a majority of clients, but for some people, FUT is actually the best way to go. Now, the other question, one of the biggest questions I think is super important is to know what percentage of the surgery does the technicians do? Or what percentage does the doctor do? And that's also on this sheet. What's really cool about having this sheet too is that at the end of your little meeting with the doctor, you can ask them to sign the sheet so that you have their info on there and they're saying that that's all true and honest, right? That's always cool. You don't have to force that, but it is a cool thing to do, and most doctors will be okay with that. Now, another question, a third question I'd say I'd choose off this just randomly is basically how many hair transplants have they actually performed themselves in their career. Now, why is that important? It speaks to their actual knowledge of the industry and how much experience they have, okay? Now, that has to be combined with what percentage of the surgery do they do. If they only do 25% of the surgery, then they can do 3-4 surgeries a day or more. But if they do only 1 surgery a day, but they do the whole thing, I prefer that, but it's up to you. That's kind of a personal thing. I think you get a way better surgeon if you go ahead and have a surgeon that does like the entire thing himself. Of course, they have techs that help, but I love when the actual surgeon is a part of every step of the entire procedure, okay? Now, another good question that you should be asking everyone is, do you have a satisfaction guarantee? That is something I did not think to ask when I was looking at hair transplants, but it is something you should be asking every single doctor. And that is actually question number 11 on my sheet. So that is one to definitely get checked off. Now, the 5th one I'm going to choose from today's is going to be how many grafts will I have for future hair transplants if I need them, okay? Now, that is a key one because you really need to know how many grafts you have left. You could be told to get 5,000 grafts today for $5,000 or $50,000. But guys, it doesn't matter if you get 5,000 grafts to the front half if you then have nothing to do the back, or if your temples recede, let's say, and let's say this area thins out, and then you can't do anything. So you got to plan for your future loss. Always have a little bit in reserve for a protective detail. Yeah, I mean, it's super key. You saw in one of my last videos, I think it was my 10-month, Dr. Panine actually was talking to me about the fact that I have so many hairs left for potential transplant that I will be comfortably able to do the mid-ground super, dense, and then hopefully touch the crown with, some light density, maybe even full density all the way through the entire head, and basically still have some grafts left over for any emergency stuff that could happen if, God forbid, something went wrong. Let's say my temples receded here. I balded on the side. You don't want to have a full head of hair and a strip of bald here. That would be absolutely terrible. We don't expect that to be a situation, but you have to plan for that as a potential. You need to have the hair grafts to actually, reconnect that so it doesn't look stupid. So In the future, I'm hoping to get a body hair transplant from my chest to my crown area to densify that so I don't have to use all my hair from the back of my head and from the sides. I want to make sure I keep this all safe and good. But guys, hopefully this has been helpful. If it has been, slap a like, comment, subscribe, and of course stay tuned for more awesome videos. We're going to start doing a lot more videos like this one and hopefully helping a lot more guys with making the right decisions, because a hair transplant can really be the best decision you ever make. It can also be a nightmare situation that costs a ton of money to fix or is tough to fix. Okay? So stay tuned for more videos. I'll be talking about why not to go to certain places, why to go to certain places, what makes a good hair transplant, how to choose a great doctor. I'll go more into depth in a second video on that. But hopefully today was a good starting point, and I hope to see you guys in more videos soon. Thanks. Peace.